Okay guys, let's dive into some Final Cut Pro stuff here. You're going to want to launch it, of course. I already launched it just a second ago, but when you're starting with a new project, you're pretty much, this is what it's going to look like. You can customize a few things, but let's not get ahead of ourselves first. So what you're going to want to do is just to start off is go up to File, New, and you're going to start with a library. And this is where you're going to decide if you are going to an external hard drive or if you are going to your computer's hard drive alone. I definitely suggest going to an external hard drive. It will not weight down your computer so much. But just for purposes, we'll just do it on the computer here. I'm setting all my files to my movies folder, and let's just call this test video. We're gonna save it, and you can see this popped up here. Don't worry about that, that's something else from another project. Actually, nope, I'm retarded. That is from the same thing. So our test video we've got right here. We can put everything in this folder that we're going to pull in. So obviously there's nothing in here whatsoever. So we can either hit import media here, or shortcut is Command I, and it's going to pull it up. Let me find something here that we can use. Let me actually go to user. Let's go in here. Let me find something we got. Here's a few projects I've worked on over the course of time. We will go ahead and pull those in. Some people prefer to look at it this way. I do not. So we are going to change it to a list. You can see right here that it's kind of the movie bar to where you can just drag through it. Not a big fan of that, so we're just going to do a list. That way it's easier. You can kind of see them all gathered up. All right, so we've got some media loaded in here. Now you're pretty much going to be asking yourself, I know this is still very overwhelming looking at everything. So you've got all your media that's going to be loaded up in this. Everything in here that you're going to load is going to be in here. So if we want to load something else, we would hit, again, Command I, load something else, or you could go up here and hit File, Import, Media. I just use commands because it's shortcuts way faster. So you've got your viewing monitor here, which you've also got one right here. It's just kind of small, but if you've got a project down underneath, this file is going to normally, or this viewer is going to take over from this file. Now we're going to need a new project because we have no timeline whatsoever. So we're going to click New Project. And in the event, it's all going to link it over here. This is where you can title it whatever you want. We'll do test video. Now, this is where you kind of need to know what you're wanting to do before you get into it so it doesn't mess you up down the road. We're not doing it anything higher than 1080 just for the purpose of this video. 1920 by 1080, and we're going to keep it at 2997 frames. So we'll create that. Bam. We have a timeline now, and that's where we're going to do all our editing at. Okay, so we've started a project. We've got a couple clips that we need in here. So this is another way that we're going to figure out. Now this is already finished stuff right here, but that's okay. Just for this purpose, we are gonna just pull out a couple clips. So as you drag your mouse over this, you can see that it's kind of very quickly giving you the preview. You can do it real slow, and let's say we want it right there. So the shortcut command for that is while you've got your mouse over that, you're going to hit I. And it's just easy to remember I for N. That's where you're cutting in at. And now you can see none of this is highlighted, so we're not grabbing any of this at the moment. Then you move over, and let's say we want to stop it right before there. So let's just say right there. And we're going to hit O for out. And now you can see that we just have a little bit selected right here. Just that sliver. Sometimes when it's that small, it's kind of hard to grab straight from there. You can see the little hand that comes up. Sometimes if it's that small, you can just grab the clip that you have, drop it in, boom. So you've got a little clippy piece in here, and you can hit spacebar. Oh, sorry about that. That's really loud. So you've got a little piece in here, a little clip that you can see, and it's only about 2 seconds, just shy of 2 seconds. But if you want to watch it, you can hit obviously spacebar. Excuse me, or you can hit space, or you can hit play right there on the screen. So just to give you a quick rundown of everything we got in here, because it still looks pretty intimidating over here. So you've got right up in here, this kind of is your main hub to show you everything you've got. If we wanted to add extra folders or new bins or new projects, so we had multiple timelines, even though now they're called projects. If you want to import media, anything like that, all this is kind of right up in here. This is like your living room of your house, I guess is what you'd say. Then over here, it's kind of showing you pretty much everything that's up in that. Even though they're separated, it's giving you a preview, so you can kind of go down the list and click on things and see what you got and just move along. Over here is our monitor. Now you can set it up where you have 2 monitors. Sorry, normally I do this with 2 screens, so it's kind of throwing me off, but there we go. Showing workspace, event viewer. There you go. Now if you wanted to make that just a little bit bigger, move for me. Why aren't you moving? Well, apparently I don't want to move. That's about as big as it's going to get. That way now you got this set up, so if you're moving through here, you don't have to have it just in this little screen. I find this kind of unnecessary and a little distracting, so normally I have it shut off unless I'm doing dual display editing. So you got your monitor up in here, you've got your timeline down here where you'll have everything, and then over here is kind of where you're going to go in and inspect clips. You're going to change things about it. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail because it's that would get really far down the rabbit hole just in this portion. Deal with that in a later video. But here's where you can change like the opacity. You can select certain clips. You can, scale it down if you wanted it smaller. You could, move anything, crop anything, all that kinds of stuff. You can pretty much, anything you want to change about the clip is in there. Even if you want to stabilize a shot, if you want to, have a rolling shutter, you can change things about it. You can also go in here and you can change the audio. If it's too loud, you can bring it down. You don't want to be peaking in the red, and it looks like some of mine that was already pre-exported out earlier was in the red. You can change that. You can add, you can change the EQ about it. You can do all kinds of things. So that's pretty much the basic rundown of this. And I don't want to go over too much in this first video because you kind of need to just get this down. You bring all your clips in over here, Command I, blah, 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 blah. We bring in a clip, we import it, and we have a new clip. Sorry about that. We have a new clip right there. You want a piece out of it, just hit N. You want it to cut out there, out there and you drag her down, or you can drag it down from here. Delete that. And if you want something else from this, again, after you've had it in your timeline project, whatever, I'm just going to continue to call it timeline because that's just what's burned in my brain from the years of this. You would hit in again, and you would hit out again. Excuse me, I and O, and you can drag it, and boom, now you have two different clips from the same thing. So if you have one really long take and you're recording something and you need to cut a portion out, that's how you would do it. I want here where we already got, but I don't want this portion right here, so I'm gonna cut it and then cut it there. That's how you would do it, and then it would play from one clip to the other right there. So that's pretty much your basic rundown. We will honestly, that's probably about all we'll do on this one. If you want to get into any more clips, we will we'll kind of do in the next video, hit on starting a workflow, filters, titles, transitions, sound effects, music, maybe adjusting the volume, stuff like that. We'll get more into what's hidden in this magical land right here. But yeah, let's just stop it right there. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I would much appreciate it. Thank you so much. If there's any questions, concerns, you can leave it in the comments below, and I will try to help you out the best I can. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks.